Hello, Julie here and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm sharing the layout that I created for the retro TV programs competition over at Mystical Scrapbooks. I will put a link in the description box below to take you there if you're interested in having a look at it. This is week 3 of the competition, and each week we highlight a old TV program that we loved, and this week the highlighted program is Lassie. I remember watching this as a kid, and the one thing that I remember is Lassie coming home over the hill in the episode where Lassie got lost, so that's why I'm going for this theme. There are a couple of requirements. You have to have a flower on your layout. A technique that you have to use is fussy cutting, and there's a kit that you can buy but it's not compulsory, and the item from that kit is string or a twine, and the colour palette is spring, so any spring colours. For my layout I'm going to use the Cocoa Vanilla These Days paper range. The background paper for the layout will be Pretty Posies, and we're using the B side, which is the wood grain. Now I'm going to start with this stripe paper. Well, I'm actually going to use the spotty side of that, and it is the family ties. I'm going to cut a strip of that is 3 inches by 12 inches. Then the same paper but the stripy side, I'm going to cut another piece of that is 5 inches by 12 inches. The next layer is going to be cut from Homegrown, and that will be 8 inches square, and this is what I will sit my photos on. I've used an emery board and filed around each of my photos, and now I'm going to attach them to that yellow piece of pattern paper. I'm just attaching them with a piece of double-sided tape. I'm overlapping the 2 smaller photos because I want them to be slightly shorter than the 7x5 main photo. I want them to be just a little bit smaller, and they are going to sit under the photo so that they fit onto that 8-inch mat. Once I had my photos attached to the photo mat, I took them to my sewing machine and I stitched around each of the photos and the outside of the photo matting piece of pattern paper. I also stitched around all of the other pieces of paper as well. Some of them I did with straight stitching, some of them were zigzag, and yes, that's it. So sometimes, and on the photos I did a mixture, an assortment of zigzags and straights. So now I'm going to use double-sided tape to attach all of my layers to my background cardstock. I did attach a piece of scrap cardboard, old piece of box, to the back of my photo mat, so that when I do attach that to the page, I am going to have it sitting up, so it's nice height to that bit of an added dimension. Before I attach my matted photo panel to the layout, I'm going to wrap the twine from the kit around the bottom of the photo panel. Unfortunately, the twine is not long enough to wrap around twice, so what I ended up doing was cutting it in halves, or cutting it into 3 pieces actually. 2 I've wrapped around so they just wrap around the front of the panel, and stuck them with double-sided tape on the sides. And then I've used the 3rd smaller piece to tie a bow, and just tied that around the 2 single twines that run across the front of the photos. Then I used my art glitter glue, which is a liquid glue, to position my photo panel onto the layout. The liquid glue gives me a little bit of time to wriggle it around and make sure I get it in the place that I want it. Now, one of the requirements was to include a flower on your layout, and another requirement was to use fussy cutting as a technique. So I have fussy cut some of the flowers from the homegrown sheet. I've inked around the edge of those, and now I'm just positioning them onto my layout where I think they look the best, and I'm attaching them with my liquid glue. I've also attached a butterfly from that same paper just at the left hand edge of my twine, and up the top I've included a little banner and a wooden button from the same range. My title is another fussy cut piece from the paper. It says my favourite place, and this is where I walk each day, or on the days that I do walk, I walk along this river which is just near my place. I wanted to add a little bit more interest to the background of my layout, so I've covered up my photo panel and most of my embellishments, and I'm now watering down some white acrylic paint with just a bit of water, and I'm going to use my fan brush to just splatter that lightly into the background. You can see it mostly on the wood grain. It doesn't really stand out much on the pattern paper, but it is there if you have a look. So that's my layout for today. Don't forget to check down in the description box for the products I've used, and also a link to the competition. Yeah, I'm sure that you'll enjoy it if you pop over there. It goes for 8 weeks, but you can join in any time. So thank you for watching my video today. If you're not already a subscriber, I'd love it if you would subscribe to my channel, give me a thumbs up and leave me a comment. I'll answer all comments. Yeah, thank you for being here. I hope you can join me for my next video.